Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon and welcome to Bucks County Curling Club for draw number 9. Friday afternoon, early evening from Bucks County Curling Club for the 2019 Child's Challenge. Joined again by my faithful companion, Dave Schmel. Dave, how's it going?
I'm doing well, Ian. How about yourself?
Absolutely fabulous.
It's been a fine day of competition thus far.
It's been absolutely fabulous. We will be joined by our esteemed colleague formerly from Cape Cod, now from Virginia, Kathy Ewell, in a few minutes. So we're excited about that. If anybody out there is interested in tweeting or Facebooking or emailing or whatever about that, maybe somebody from Virginia is tuned in. We got seven viewers. Boy, I tell you what, it's pretty exciting to be us.
It seems like a hell of a use of our time.
You know, we've got pairs of viewers.
They're tuning in by the fives, Ian, by the fives.
So, yes, we have 1 3/5 fives of viewers.
So our game this afternoon features Bucks County Curling Club, skipped by Elena Pazerska, against a Diamond Stake Potomac rink, skipped by Heather McNutt.
Now, I've got a little bit of insider information, Dave, that Elena is stuck in traffic. So Terry Byer is going to be skipping until Elena can get here.
Oh, well, there you go.
That'll make for an interesting three-handed adventure for our Bucks County squad.
To my knowledge, this might be Terry's first time behind the house as skip.
I'm not sure about that. I cannot disagree.
Where the hell's Kathy?
Elena has arrived.
She's in the building, so she'll get to throw her stones in the proper order. And here we are, joined by our third person in the booth, Kathy Ewell. Good evening, Kathy.
Good evening, gentlemen.
Wonderful to have you join us.
Happy to be here. This is exciting.
Well, good. Glad to hear it. Now, we said that you were now of Virginia, formerly of Cape Cod. Is that correct?
Yes, except for I'm curling out of Triangle, which is in North Carolina. So live in Virginia, curl in North Carolina, and I'm still a member at Cape Cod as well.
So you're a hot mess, that's what you're telling us.
Basically, yes.
You're one of those multitasking females.
Yes.
You know, there's a lot of them around this weekend. It's almost like there's 160 women in the building.
Yeah.
And myself and my colleague are one of about 10 males.
You're the brave. You're brave.
We are indeed. That calls for some more naproxen.
I concur. I concur. All right. We need for you two to chat and describe what's going on while I go and collect some information about who's playing this draw, okay?
Sounds good. Sounds
Carry
good.
on.
All right, so you should know some stuff about Bucks County 3.
Oh, absolutely. So right now we have Jolene throwing the second lead rack. Terry's here holding the broom. Alina just arrived. She was caught in some traffic, so the skip will be out there shortly. And we have Jolene, Maya, and Terry are all first-year curlers at the moment. So it's quite exciting to have them doing Bonspiel.
I love seeing first-year curlers at the 5 and unders.
Absolutely, and more exciting for the people in the warm room, dinner is ready, so that just made everyone quite happy. So stone away for Diamond State / Potomac. We'll figure out exactly the club affiliations as we go. If I'm not mistaken, it looks like that's a Bucks member throwing lead for them. So is that correct, Dan? We have a Bucks member throwing lead for Diamond State?
I was told that I think you can overuse
So it is a sub on Diamond State's side.
there's a whole book. It's called Lead Shoots Leads. And it's about guns.
Jolene with her second.
Lead Shoots Leads. I think I have it in my car.
Yeah, it's going to rack, sweep it up. It's going to be second shot stone.
It's apparently not a very good plot because you can't use it. It's probably a lot of Look at that.
Commentary. You're supposed to commentate the game. Tell everyone we say hi.
We have our peanut gallery in the background.
Glessner says hi to everyone.
Glessner always says hello to everyone. It's Glessner.
Gonna slide through.
That does just skitter through. They are still sitting the one.
I feel bad for sending that link.
This is a B event game. So the B event means that both of these teams were unsuccessful in their first outing. Most bonspiels are triple knockout. And Kathy, we're losing viewers quite steadily right now.
Excellent. It must be our fantastic commentary. Oh, man. All right.
Let me throw out a Facebook post here. That's worth at least 2 people. Okay, so coming out for the Diamonds in the Rough is Maggie Mallon. And she's throwing a stone on down, and it's going to come up on down to the second shot stone, but unfortunately it looks like it's going to promote the enemy stone down to the button and leave them sitting one. So Terry's calling the guard here in response, and good call. You want to protect what you have, especially with all those other blue ones there.
Well, one was like parking, and then one was running a little later. So
Rock's on the way.
I think I might have all 4.
Starting to curl over nicely. A little bit of finish will get it there.
Yeah.
That's a very good shot indeed. People here, people watching this. Yeah. Yeah, Bert, you are correct. That is a sub from Bucks County filling out the Diamond State rank. What? Right.
Which one's that?
Coming down the right side,
I'm giving her some color commentary. Sorry.
Well, that I knew that. We're getting some intel here, given by our spotters. She's not in the ice yet, though, so we can't really bring that up yet.
Killing it here, Dave. We're killing it.
So after all that, it's still $1 sitting right in the button. They're going to try to draw down right now. This is way narrow right off the bat.
He tried earlier. He did. Have to keep him straight, you know.
That one curls well wide of the intended target. We see Maya scurrying down the other side, not necessarily used to holding the broom, being the second. Elena being late for the beginning is abiding general custom and not joining the team till the following end.
Sounds about right.
So we have Terry Byer here throwing her first skip rock.
Ever.
That would be correct, and this is not really Terry's forte.
But you know what, Dave? My experience with Terry. Well, throw it, throw it, throw it, throw it. Oh!
She forgot to take off
Well, she forgot to take her gripper off.
And pass the tee line.
And you know what? And it did pass the tee line, so that's actually a legal throw. But it does appear that in the spirit of good sportsmanship that they're going to let her take another shot at it.
It looks like the opponents have done the right thing.
Yep, I like this.
That's really what you should do, because curling really is a game about sportsmanship and following the rules and etiquette and doing things in the proper spirit of the game.
And we end up with a centerline guard.
Which, in fairness, is not the worst thing that's going to happen right now, because at this point, it really does look locked in that you're looking at a score of 1 rand.
There's an awful lot of granite in the way.
Indeed.
You never let go, and then you put their phone like this.
Now, are they taking scores or stuff? Right now? Yeah. Just a bunch of people out on the ice throwing their rocks.
That's what we do.
I see no points anywhere.
Well, we're playing this is the first round, so.
has changed with it. I just wanted to come up and check this out.
Yeah, we are here at the Elizabeth Childs Bonspiel. We have 40 teams competing from up and down the East Coast.
We were trying to count clubs this afternoon and got up to 23 or 4 and realized, oh, we don't even have all the registrations on our list. So it's over 23 clubs.
40 is the record, I believe, for the Elizabeth Childs.
I think that's right. And I may have misspoken. I don't think it was 23. I'll have to go look.
It was north of 20 for sure.
It's a lot, which is wonderful.
It is, and I think 40 teams is wonderful. I think the next closest was 30 or 31.
Little unfortunate in the delivery there, a little bit of a bobble. Looks to be just a skosh heavy. It's going to probably skitter through.
I think you're right there, Dave. That one's going to have enough gas to just get past the back line.
Maya tried to work her way in there. I don't know about you guys, but that supper smells good.
It's starting to, isn't it? Can you smell it on the web stream? We're up to a grand total of 11 viewers now.
There we go.
You know, I'm gonna hit up the Bucks Facebook page, and
Well, we got over 40 yesterday.
I don't know what. Does anybody in Virginia care about this?
Well, since there's no curling club in Virginia, probably not.
No, there's CCV.
Oh yeah, there is. But
And Triangle has several
yep,
teams here.
Triangle.
Which I realize is not in Virginia, but in North Carolina.
So, final rock from Terry Byer coming out here. It is, well, it's dreadfully wide.
Yeah, it's a little out there.
Hey, you're a little out there.
That's very true.
Indeed. It does not go out of play, but it also doesn't do much of anything. So it will be the Hammerstone for the skip Heather McNutt.
It's like she's wanting to tap the blue.
Yeah,
I mean,
I think that's what the call is right now.
it's coming in.
It doesn't look that bad. You got to hurry. Oh, it's going to wreck on the guard.
It was looking good for there a minute, but
And it's going to be a score of 1 for Bucks County. So 1-0 after 1. Now, interesting over on sheet A, we have,
There's a score posted.
which would imply that maybe we had a team not ready to answer the bell.
Yes, I believe that is correct, Dave. Thank you. Good call.
So we'll try to get some confirmation of this from our Bonspiel staff, but it appears the team on sheet A, the Philly Bucks team, skipped by Franzen, wasn't available at the draw time, and we are running a little bit late, so when the ice is ready, you do have to be ready to curl, and if you are not, you do forfeit 1 point and the hammer immediately, and then another 1 point 15 minutes thereafter. So they are playing what is the second end, going in what would be to us the opposite direction at this time.
I don't think that's really yeah, I think that's like one thing about for a million other reasons. Yeah.
And Looking around the house right now, it was a score of 2 for Plainfield, the Moore rink over Bucks County Turner. And over on sheet D, Finger Lakes, skip by Mogul, has taken 2 against Rutland Rocks Richter. The Red Rutland Rocks by Richter. Quite the alliterative value.
Say that again, Dave.
I don't think I can. I couldn't the first time, Ian.
Sorry.
Sorry. Beg pardon. And if anybody needs any updates on anything, feel free to comment. We are watching our YouTube comments. So back to our game here. Second stone from Bucks County, Jolene Patrick. Bucks with a high center guard. Diamond State is drawn underneath. And this stone is coming deep and to the back 12.
It's extraordinary how those rocks are all in a line.
So this draw is coming down. It's going to come on down. They're going to sweep it in. Sweeping quite hard, and it's going to be good for a second shot, so it will be Diamond State sitting 2. And Terry is still skipping here. They elected to throw, well, I don't know what order they're throwing in, but Terry is still holding the broom. We'll see how the stones come down. Now, Elena, who is not only the skip for Bucks, is on the Ukrainian national mixed doubles team with her partner, Yevgeny. They curl both out of Bucks County Curling Club and also the Plainfield Curling Club. They have a lovely Ukrainian Curling Federation pin, which you can purchase.
I actually have one of those pins.
There you go.
I can't remember how I got it though, because we did not play them. But
I
somebody
got
gave
one
it.
from Evgeny. He charged me $50 for
Did
it.
he?
Yeah.
I only paid
I
$5.
may have gotten a little bit.
You got ripped off.
A little bit gouged.
Yeah, I only paid $5 there, buddy.
I got mine for free.
So we have a center guard that's unfortunate for Bucks up right now. So Diamond State trying to plug another one in there. This is Maggie Mallon with her rock. It's a good draw to the 4 foot, and it will be sitting 1, 2, and 3 right now for Diamond State. The shot's hanging out a little bit wide right now. Going to be a very high corner guard. Quite cornerish. And we have Elena back in the house now. So maybe they sorted out what they plan to do.
We've got a couple of comments on our YouTube stream. Jeff says, go Finger Lakes. Welcome to the stream, Jeff. And, oh, Matt Cherkowitz. Nice warm March night for curling and a beer on the front porch. Go Terry and Maya.
Cheers.
Here, here.
Nostrovia.
Good curling all.
And there's another nice draw. So it's now 4 Blue Rocks staring at Bucks County right now. And Elena says, that's quite enough of that. Let's open this up some.
I have to admit, I agree with that call.
Kathy, do you like that call?
I love that call. I think they need to sweep it, though.
They really should be sweeping.
There's a good chance that she might still hit something blue. No, she hit red.
Yeah, but you're going to get a little bit of a better look now.
Yes, it's a little bit more open.
I'd still say all things being equal, I'd rather be throwing blue rocks at the moment. So that brings up Vice Skip Sharon Miner. Sharon Miner is from the Diamond State Curling Club. Either that or she stole a Diamond State jacket.
He's out very close to the broom. Looks to me like 3-4 weight.
A good bit of late finish, much like we saw yesterday on this sheet. Mark, to your point there, when somebody arrives late to a curling game, they usually come in the next end. And when you enter into a new end as a player arriving late, you can go into any position. Now, once you come into that position, you are locked there for the remainder of the game. But it's perfectly fine for Elaine to be throwing 4 throws.
A little bit of a lost handle on this one, I'm afraid, and it is now spinning S-curve out of play.
Well, that's quite unfortunate. It looks like the call here is just to cover it up and protect what you have, and especially if you have 4 right now, that's not a bad idea at all.
I have to agree. Let's see whether... Well, she slid out to the broom, but then threw the stone just a little bit narrow on the release.
I think you want to be sweeping this one right now here, partner.
And it does look a little heavy. Yep.
But you know, there may be enough blue granite in there to hold it in place.
It's going to wreck on the top guard. Still skitter in, and now it is 5 blue counters.
That is something to be staring at, isn't it?
And all above the tee line, which makes it even more difficult to get in there and score for the red team.
As you can tell in the background, We've got a warm room full of people enjoying a Friday early evening here at the Curling Club.
Yep. So Elena's coming down. She's throwing hit weight. It looks to be a good normal up.
Something's going to happen here, folks.
Good.
That's not bad. It's going to remove one.
That rearranges the house in an acceptable fashion.
And it knocks it down to 3 as opposed to 5, so it's definitely a good outcome with your first rock.
And now Diamond State, Potomac coming down. If they're thinking about hitting this, they've got to think twice about what the outcome is going to be.
Yeah, there's a lot of jam possibilities here. You have to watch what you're doing. We have right now dinner's being served at the Curling Club, and everybody appears to be enjoying the food prepared by Cassie Dragos and her gang. Great job, as always.
Eating at GNCC curling clubs is rarely a disappointing experience.
Having traveled from coast to coast, it does strike me fondly, I guess would be the right way to say that how our experience is out here, because not that, you know, there's strong curling traditions across the country, but we like our food out here on the East Coast.
Boy, oh boy.
So, Dave, where's the furthest you've curled?
About 150 feet.
Yeah, well, I was a little heavy at 160.
Attaboy.
No, but I've been to San Francisco with my good friends from the Bay Area Curling Club and now the Silicon Valley Curling Club. I've curled there for 5 years. And I've also been to Calgary at the North Hill Curling Club. My friend Tim Varga. And also at the Bay Area Curling Club, I had a good opportunity to spiel with Alberta 3rd Darren Moulding.
Oh, excellent.
And he is a hoot. He definitely gives hope that all of us on our Thursday night beer league might have a shot at the Briars sometime. Because we may or may not have done 1, 2, or 20 shots.
I don't want to interrupt the story, and I hope you will continue, but Elena and Terry are trying to figure out what to do here for Elena's second shot. And having hung one in the first end, they do not have hammer here. So they want to try to prevent the Blue Rocks from Diamond State from putting up a big end. But they need to realize that there's going to be one more stone to answer whatever they do here.
Yeah, well, I think the call right now is for a little raise on the one on the button. With the ice, it looks like it's a control weight. And it's on its way. Looks to be a skosh wide at the moment.
I think that'll come back, but by golly, it's a bit heavy.
I don't know about that.
Yeah. Maybe a bounce off the blue.
That's,
That's a very, very good result for Elena Pezderska there.
That does not suck.
Congratulations to the Ukrainian out there.
So, interesting story. So, Elena and Evgeny had said that I need to research my ancestry because they say I look Ukrainian, so I should be on the team.
All right. Does that mean Evgeny has given up his spot?
I think we're looking to make a 4-person team, maybe possibly a mixed team.
So you need another player. Maybe Alex Durska.
It might be possible, or I can head on down to the Ukrainian club down the road here, just over on Caroline Road.
I have a friend down in Virginia who curls a triangle. Her name is Kathy Olsker.
Ah. She used to curl up in Cape Cod where her name was Kathy Olsker.
Yes, that's right. No Oz. Unless it's the Wizard of.
We have a Cape team here their name is the Lobsters.
The lobster.
Perfect.
Need to make sure you throw plenty of guards.
I know. I lived there for 6 years and I didn't pick up the accent.
Thank God.
Interesting shot here from the Diamond State Potomac rink. I'd be sweeping this, trying not to tap the red one in any further, but it didn't take it too far.
Okay, so no harm, no foul. It's a score of 1.
Which leaves us tied.
1-1.
Now, what are we looking for out of these teams in the next end? Kathy, do you think that we're going to see a little bit more aggressive approach, or are we going to see a house full of stones?
I think a house full of stones. I think the curl is lending more towards the draw game, and that's what we've been seeing. And I think people are a little nervous to throw the hits.
All right. You heard it here first.
That's just my thought.
All right. It's hard to disagree with that, I have to admit.
It's very swingy. I love the ice at Bucks. When we've played here, it's been a ton of fun. But it is very swingy.
Now, we tend to have a really good speed, around 25 seconds, with 4 to 5 feet of curl in both directions. But it is weight sensitive, and if you get up to a good normal weight, the rocks will run pretty true for you, and hits are very much there. But it's especially at the 5 and under level, regardless of gender, you're going to be a little bit hesitant to trust that.
Right.
And this guard, well, this is thrown without a whole bunch of handle, and it's just kind of knuckling around.
That's going to S-curve back to the center line and be an outstanding 2.5
back
guard.
to being a perfect shot.
I wish we could show you this. There's a Bucks team on sheet C that has women wearing mustaches. And I'm not quite sure why, but I'm sure there's a fabulous reason.
But why not?
That's true. Do you
can't
think the theme is Queens of Rock, right? Are they
they're
being
Freddie Mercury? Of
Yes,
course they
that's
are.
what I think.
Thank you.
Yes.
Well,
And the fact that I figured it out so quickly after your hint means it was obvious. So thank you very much, Kathy. I'm glad you're here.
That was just a guess.
Partner, didn't you, make your bones in the music business a little bit?
Yeah, but more on the classical side.
Okay. Fair enough.
I did some singing with choirs and orchestras, but Freddie Mercury is a whole different category.
Oh, I would concur with that. There's a whole lot of drugs between Beethoven and Freddie Mercury.
And who knows, if Freddie Mercury had gotten some AZT, he might still be here.
That's quite possible. Yeah, it's definitely a shame. One of the most talented voices that we did have in that time.
And the vision that was the album Night at the Opera, and of course the song, the eponymous movie was named after, just catapulted those guys to superstardom.
At the old Imperial Palace in Las Vegas, they used to have dealer-tainers that would be dressed up as celebrities. And there was always a guy who was dealing blackjack dressed as Freddie Mercury.
So a beater shirt.
Yep, in the beater.
And a big bad mustache.
Yep, and they would actually get up and perform on their break. Now, I'm going to use the term perform loosely. They made some noise.
All right.
So, taking a look around the ice shed right now on sheet D. We have a steal of 2 by Finger Lakes, putting them up 4-0 over Rutland Rocks, which was a sponsor of a great Bondsfield gift that was given out to people last evening. And on sheet C, it is a 4-2 score. Turner taking 4 over Plainfield. So everybody in Bucksland happy there. And we have a tie game after 2 asterisk on sheet 1, waiting for the third end to be hung. One of the great things about doing broadcasting here at Bucks County is our club members are more than happy to refresh our drinks without us having to move.
I don't know who's drinking.
I have no idea whose cubby is number 414.
Don't want the entire internet to know that. Elena is sweeping again. Have we figured this lineup out?
She's
completely.
She is throwing 4th.
Yeah.
So
And is Terry calling the game, or is it a committee?
it appears to be a committee. I have not seen anyone other than Terry or Elena behind the house. So
All right.
if we were following strict USCA rules, we're okay. Because you can only have one skip and 1 vice skip permit in the house. Haven't quite figured out the mechanics of this yet.
Hurry up.
Jim Fannin, one of our best club members ever, providing beverages for the broadcast team.
Jim Fannin also was our evening bartender last night and also this evening. He was quite bright-eyed and bushy-tailed this morning.
In fact, he got the stream going this morning.
Well, we both kind of did. We kind of kept on hitting buttons till it worked.
What did you think I meant by that, Kathy?
Nothing. I was actually just thinking of how exciting
It must have been.
it must have been for Jim.
So we have Bucks sitting 1. They do have the hammer of the last stone.
I never trust him for anything. If they said, hey,
We have Maya throwing 2nd. The come around is a call.
Maya just came back from a 3-week trip to India.
Really?
Absolutely amazing. She was describing it at broomstacking the other night. Incredible trip with her parents over there and her husband. Just absolutely amazing cultural insights. And her ability to describe it is brilliant. She's a artistic director of a theater in Philadelphia, so she's able to set the scene, as it were, and it sounds like an amazing trip.
Well, that's fabulous. So that come around attempt ended up as a center guard. So in response, Heather is asking for a draw around from the opposite side, taking nearly 5.5 feet of ice. Out to the broom. The sweepers are not interested in sweeping her away at the moment, but I think a touch for a line might be warranted.
I concur, unless they're going to go for a tap, but I'm not sure it has the juice.
I think that could have been a made shot if that were on it.
If we added a little bit of something to it, it might have come around.
That did not look all bad at all, and So right now the call is from Terry, who is now throwing third, and Elena is throwing fourth.
You know, that's something we've been seeing all weekend. Well, all weekend for a day and a half at this point, Dave. But the difference between a 2 or 3 guard and a T line in the house is so subtle in terms of time on the stopwatch, but is so easily done by a couple of swipes of the broom.
Yeah, that's kind of indicative of the ice here at Bucks County. It tends to be what we like to call sweeper's ice.
Brings them into the game.
Absolutely, and if as a skip, if you have a good front end and you can use that to your advantage, it makes throwing the shot so much easier. Now this one's coming down right now. They're going to keep on bringing.
It's lost its handle.
It lost handle, and it's going the opposite way.
And you know, that had a decent handle on it, so it's not a light handle situation. I think that must have picked on something significant.
It certainly may have.
And so, fellow curlers, let us admonish you once again to buy a new gripper at least once a year, and don't wear a brand new fleece on the ice until you've washed and dried it.
It's so simple to do, and well, frankly, a lot of our club members are guilty because we run a year-round season, so they're like, okay, I bought a new gripper this year. Yeah, but you also curled twice as much as any other curler.
Don't give away our advantage at the 5U Bonspiels.
Yeah. You're more than welcome to drive up to Warminster, Pennsylvania, and become members.
Well, we've got one counter in the top, well, biting 8, half 8, and another biter in the top 12. And if nothing changes real soon, it's going to be one red. And the wider that group of guards gets, the less likely it is that somebody's going to be able to draw around.
Absolutely. And over on sheet A, it was a score of 2 for Lisa Carasella with the Diamond State / Philadelphia rank. So they are winning now 3-1 after kind of 3. I only once had a situation where I had a late opponent.
It's unfortunate. It hurts both sides to do it, but and it's almost always some disinterested third-party intervention like traffic or weather or a family issue, but it's just unfair to the other 7 people, and you got to hang the one.
Yeah, I mean, it's, especially when you're running a large bonspiel, and oftentimes it does occur the first or second draw of the day, and the schedule has to hold on somehow.
I mean, at least hold on loosely.
We're pushing it here. We're trying to turn our ice in 10 minutes every draw, and that's a bit rough. We are timing these games to a 95-minute clock. So after 95 minutes, you have to complete the end you're on and play one more.
And it's interesting. I think people have grown to understand exactly what that means. And we've seen quite an expansion in thinking time in the 7th and 8th ends.
Yeah, once people know that they're home.
Okay, we're safe. We can stand here and yak.
Yeah.
And I understand the agony over what to do, and you feel like, gosh, it's really important that we figure out how to win this game. But
Jesus, Mary, and Joseph, just throw the damn rock.
all 3 of them. Did we talk about C&D?
Well, on sheet C, we have a score of 1 for Plainfield, so it is currently a 4-3 score. And D is not, well, they have not completed the third inning yet, so that game is running, well, more than a skosh slow, but
that could prove interesting when we get to the end of our time clock. Right now we're at 46 minutes.
I would say right now that there is virtually zero chance that sheet D would play 8 ends.
I have to concur.
A lot of rocks up front over there on D.
There are a lot of rocks, and there are some folks that say that playing the draw game, consistently is what might make the game slow and make you a slow skip. But I completely do not agree with that at all. I tend to call a draw game quite a bit myself, and it's either A or B. It's usually not a C or D.
Here comes Elena Pazderska to throw her first. And her Redstone team does have hammer this end.
She does.
Terry's got the broom out on the edge of 12. And they're hoping to add another counter. Sitting 2 red right now. I don't think there's much danger of it wrecking, and she's got backing, so it's a wise move that she's taken. She's sweeping her own stone, which is of course, an offshoot of her playing a fair bit of doubles.
Yeah, that's really Elena's deal. She is specializes in mixed doubles with her partner Yevgeny. And that does leave them sitting 3. They do play in the mixed doubles league that we have here at Bucks on Sunday afternoons.
Elena and Evgeny also play a fair bit up at Bucks, or up at Plainfield in New Jersey.
They certainly do, and they did win their playoff game last Sunday, so that does advance them to the finals here at Bucks County, where they will play for a prestigious pint of beer.
Now, we almost had a promote for Diamond State Potomac here, but it overcurled just a little bit, wrecked on the guard. And that may have actually done them a favor because it opened up the promote. And I think the rock they threw was probably heavy enough that they'd have punched the guard they were intending to hit right through the house to the hack.
Yeah, absolutely. And don't know really where you get your 4th point here. Kathy, what would you throw right now?
Oh.
It's a mess out there, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, they have 3 already, so I'd probably guard against that blue tap.
Well, this being the hammer.
Well, then I wouldn't do that.
I can't tell you how many times I've had that happen to me where I want to throw a guard and the vice says, you know this is last rock.
We've all been there. We've all been there.
Oh, man.
We led you down the garden path there, Kathy. Sorry.
There's so much going on. It's hard to keep track.
I know.
All right, so yes.
How do you get into the house?
I was like, yeah, there's really not a good
With the key.
way to get in.
Do you try to tap a blue one in to give them a chance? Or do you throw it out the side?
She's just throwing it away.
Yeah.
She might be trying that, and that's out.
Yeah, that's gone.
That's touching
My
the sideline.
apologies. My apologies. If it hadn't been the hammer, though, I stand by my call.
So it's a score of 3 for Bucks County. And after 3, it'll be 4-1.
Now, I'm not sure we could hear it on the stream, but I sensed a sigh of relief from Terry Byer. Did you hear it?
What, when Elena showed up?
Yeah.
Well, both of those teams had a player that was running a little late.
I'm
And
not,
I
well, of
think
course,
both
it's Friday afternoon, and we're dealing with Philadelphia traffic.
Yes. So I think they were both relieved when both of the skips showed up.
Fair point.
Absolutely.
So now, speaking of doubles, have you guys played doubles?
Oh yes, I've been a member of the doubles league here. We do call it mixed doubles. We kind of loosely enforce
Yes.
that based on what we're doing. I think it's a great method of the game and a great way to play the game. And if nothing else, it really helps you zero in that draw weight.
Draw weight, yep. I played it for the first time in January at the GNCC Doubles Championship.
Wait. Your first
Oh,
doubles
yes.
game was at the championship.
Yes.
Do tell.
Just a member up at the Cape asked me if I was interested in playing, and I honestly wasn't sure I would even like it because I hadn't played it before. We had a really good time. It's a very fun game. I had subbed once in our doubles league. My son and my husband had played up at the Cape in the doubles league, and I subbed one time for my husband, so I was playing with my son. I did not enjoy that game, so I wasn't sure about doubles. But when you're playing with somebody that knows what they're doing, it's a lot more fun.
Yes, and there's some.
By the way,
I think some people have misconceptions that you have to be able to sweep your own stone.
Right. I use a stabilizer, so I
Right.
was not hopping up to sweep my stone.
Right,
'cause
that's really not the case. You can have your partner
Yep.
sweeping that for you all the time.
Yep.
Well, that is because of a rule change, and I know you guys are aware of this, but at the beginning of mixed doubles, as I understood it when I played, the person holding the broom had to be in the house, or at least beyond the hog line. I forget exactly what the rule was. And then that was abandoned, and you could agree with your playing partner on where the broom was, and your partner could sweep for you from the delivery point. And because that change had not happened yet, a game of mixed doubles got me off the stabilizer onto my broom. And for a person like me, who has what I call horizontal surface disease, meaning that when I put something down, I have no idea where I left it, that was a huge favor, because I was able to, for the rest of my curling career to date, deliver with the broom in my hand and not have to remember where I left my broom and where to put the stabilizer for next end. So that turned out to be a very helpful thing for me. I do not mean to suggest by any means that I am discriminating against stabilizers, because I think they're very helpful for clubs to develop newer curlers, and there are plenty of people at very high competitive levels that are using stabilizers for the rest of their careers. So it is a thing that is undeniable, but it has been very convenient for me in terms of keeping track of my gear not to have the stabilizer. So where are we out on the sheet here now, Kathy?
Let's look back out here.
After my little diatribe.
About we've got red counting 1, 2 blue guards out front, and then a red guard way off to the side.
All right. With a score of 4-1, I think that our Bucks Red ladies want to play a fairly clean game, but it looks to me like they're talking about drawing behind that wide corner guard, unless this is going to be a guard. But with that ice, it's going to be way off the center line.
Well, a lot of times your strategy is dictated by trying to throw a shot that you're confident that your team can make. And a lot of times with a newer team, the hits are a lot tougher than the draws. And a missed hit is really a thrown away shot, where a draw not exactly in the correct place
Has a chance.
That's correct.
looks like they're trying to promote one of their blues.
They got a couple of choices.
Yeah, it's a little light, though.
And it's not a bad idea to get at least one of those blue guards out of the way.
Right.
So that they could eventually get to the shot rock, but unfortunately they've just added another 42 pounds of guard. You smell good, Dave. Smell like garlic and butter and bread and pasta.
That's how I usually smell.
That's a fair point.
It's just a Friday night.
In Dave Land.
In Daveland.
I think our friends from Bucks are going to add another guard here because this is not going to get past. It's been a weekend of not calling enough ice. However,
it does make it into the house.
And it serves as a guard covering a fair portion of the forefoot. And not having hammered this end, red wants to keep blue out of the 4-foot circle.
And Bucks is sitting 3 at the moment.
Biter in the back. Ouch.
It's a Marv Albert.
The internet will tell you what that means.
Kathy is saying to our right, saying, what the heck did I get myself into?
It's entertaining.
Now, this blue stone coming down from Diamond State Potomac has a little bit more pace. It's going to hit the guard, but it may actually tap a blue one in.
It does.
With a biter.
Cut it down to 2.
Coming to
1.
2.
I think, yeah.
And it
I like the revision, Dave. Go ahead,
kind
Kathy.
of opened up the red a not as much as, you know, if they could just move out of the way so I could see all the stones.
Multiple views available. Where we're sitting pretty close to the center line of Sheet B in the 3rd row of the stadium seating, we've got the overhead TVs, and we have 2 screens we can look at with the composite view that you all are looking at. And so we have the actual ice in front of us through the huge windows.
But who would actually look through the glass?
Well, I find myself looking out there pretty often, actually.
I know, that's where I was looking.
It kind of makes me want to put my phone down and participate in real life. But only occasionally.
That reminds me of the first at-bat for Bryce Harper in a Phillies uniform.
Oh, how did that go?
Chris Wheeler, who was formerly on the broadcast staff and had since been relegated to doing basically nothing, announced Bryce Harper. Number 3, designated hitter, Bryce Harper. And there was a smattering of applause followed by complete silence because the entire stadium had their cell phones out recording him walking out.
Yeah, so that's the sound of one hand clapping.
That's correct. And Scott Fransky, the Phillies play-by-play announcer on radio, picked it up immediately.
Yeah. Did he hit the ball?
He's hit the ball once.
All right. Diamond State has thrown a little bit wide and a little bit hot, and it's going to end up back by the hack to no effect.
So it still leaves Bucks sitting to 1, and it appears the call is going to be for a guard, I believe.
I kind of hope it's in that big hole in the middle, out in the 2-guard zone.
So Elaine is calling an awful lot of ice here. It looks like she's covering the draw path instead of trying to cover the big hole in the middle. That shot did cover some of that hole, but right now Diamond State's looking to throw a run back on their own blue here. If you can run it back into the shot stone, you'll be sitting 2. And even if you peel off, you'll be sitting 1, which will be a good outcome at this point. But that lacked the pace and will be a hog stone. So Elaine's going to be a little bit aggressive here. And she's going to take out the blue stone.
Just talking about that.
I believe. Now she's doing some other gesturing. Now we're going to throw the other turn. I have my partners texting on my back right now. I have no idea what's going on.
We're talking about you and your dinner, Dave.
I enjoy my dinner.
We've enjoyed it too.
Nothing's stopping it. It's out there.
I know. There's 3 of us. One of us could go and eat.
So now throwing for Bucks is Skip Elaine Pazerska.
Now, does she dare to come at this with control weight and punch the blue through to add another red counter?
I do believe that's the call.
Wow. That is gutsy. Is it going to curl enough?
It is.
Is it going to curl enough?
Here it comes.
Is it going to curl enough, Vic? It's going to curl enough.
Yes, it did, Vic.
How about that?
They're sitting 4 now.
They are sitting the 4.
Did open up shot.
You're right. How did they get to it, Kathy?
I would say hack weight, maybe? I'm trying to look. It's
Yeah, that's fair. If you look at the left half of the stream screen, I agree with your hack weight assessment.
I think it's there all day.
It's there all day, but they are definitely not looking
Yeah, they're
at
not
it right
looking
now.
at it.
I worked really hard.
Are they considering some sort of angle raise
I'm not
thing?
sure.
Oh, in a nice gesture, Terry says, hey, I'll put the jacket away. You guys focus on your shot. Sportspersonship. But Terry's from Minnesota, so she's a nice person.
In a passive-aggressive kind of way.
That's fair.
I was in Duluth the other week, and I saw in the airport gift shop a T-shirt that said, keep Minnesota passive-aggressive. Or not, whatever you like.
I tried to wheeze like Brent there. I hope he's one of the 23 who's watching, you know.
Well,
Ooh, my.
we know that Bill Alfer's watching.
Does Brent have the internet?
Well, he did drop his phone in the lake.
Well, yeah.
This is a little wide.
And heavy.
No, dear.
That's no good.
Well, it was a valiant effort.
Get this food out of the way so you stop talking about me.
Why would we do that, Kathy? It's so much fun to talk about Dave.
It is.
We can certainly go over the lineup, Bill. Kathy, you want to run down the lineup on sheet B?
So for Diamond State, we have Heather McNutt as the skip, Sharon Miner as the vice, Maggie Mallon as the second, and Leslie Hubbard as the lead.
And before you get to the Bucks County rink, let's look at the sheet out here and see what we have. We've added another red stone, which makes it just a little bit more difficult for Diamond State to upset this apple cart. And we're sitting 4 now from Bucks.
I think it's 5 there, partner.
Absolutely. I forgot the biter. It bit me, too. Good point. Thank you, Dave. That's why you're here. And
I don't understand what they're calling.
well, based on the oscillating hand gestures, neither does the vice.
Right.
And I'm not being unfair to her. I don't mean she doesn't get it. I mean she doesn't
Right.
quite know what the skip wants to do.
Right.
And it's hard to read somebody's mind from 150 feet away.
So
I would sweep this to try to hit it straight back, but
no. Oh well.
Oh, a wiki wacky.
well,
It worked out well.
isn't that a favorable outcome?
Hashtag 5 and under.
Hashtag called shot.
So it is a steal 2.
Which is far better than it could have been, folks.
Oh, you betcha. So it puts Bucks County up.
Do you guys think that the curl is making people nervous about throwing hits?
I
mean,
think
that was
we've seen
obviously
that
a
all
hit.
in the last 24 hours for sure.
I definitely concur with it. This is a lot more curl than a lot of people are used to seeing at their home clubs. Our stones are pretty aggressive, and we have a pretty aggressive scrape routine in place that really allows the stone to just be grabbing on the pebble. So we've seen this consistently. Obviously, our club members are used to it.
Right. I mean, this sheet A has a lot of stones in play out front. She's definitely looking more like a draw game across.
Some people might say that that is a typical women's league curling approach. I would not say that that's universal in any sense, because there are certainly very, very competitive women's teams. There are plenty of women's teams that I've lost to and have taught me lessons that I remember to this day.
I will insert Rosemary Morgan in that conversation.
Repeatedly. I am indebted to her for so many lessons. But there is a slightly conservative bent, on average, perhaps. And I think when you get on in a situation where you are looking at unfamiliar ice conditions, that you may back off a little bit on your edge.
I love to throw hits. I just think, just from what I've seen this weekend, I think the swing, if you're not throwing a real heavy, and I don't throw a real heavy takeout, you're going to miss, I think, more than normal.
And then in an end or two, you should be adding a little bit more broom and making those shots. But in some cases, maybe more due to the 5 and under than the gender, you shy away from it.
Yep.
And I'm just guessing here.
Right.
Especially because right now we're watching B event games. So right now we're watching all teams that did lose their first game. Courtney, I can't say I don't agree, but we're watching teams that have just not won their first game. So, you know, you're trying to be a little bit more careful your second time out, trying to get a win underneath your belt, get your feet underneath you. And I think a little more aggressive approach with some more rocks in play is a good idea.
It's a fair assessment. So there's an awful lot of factors in various coefficients.
Courtney, I agree with you.
I don't know if we have enough ice.
Maya Cholden with a red rock out to the left side.
Maya throwing second for the Bucks County rank, which is skipped by Elena Przerska, viced by Terry Byer. Maya is the second, and Jolene Patrick is the lead. After a heavy brushing effort, it is, well, pretty close for shot. So taking a look around the barn right now, on sheet A, it is currently Leah Carasella with a 3-2 lead over Philly Bucks.
On sheet C, we see mostly playing field action for the Moore rink, with Rocks scoring in 1, 3, 4, and 5. And right now our score after 5 ends is 6-4.
And over on sheet D, it is all Finger Lakes all the time right now with a 7-0 advantage after 4 ends.
Does that mean that in curling it's giving? No, we're not going to.
I just saw the bad Ian pun coming, and I hung my head, folks. Anybody at Bucks County knows that feeling. I love you too, partner. So, right now it's coming down, and Elena is sweeping the bejesus out of this. Elena's worked a lot on her brushing, and that probably lends a lot into her decision to be out of the house and consulting from the front end more or less, and putting brushing out there.
Have to concur. Terry's not a bad sweeper, but Elena has had to raise her brushing technique to a higher level in order to compete in the mixed doubles events that she has attended. A little bit of a fall on sheet A, but fortunately landed on soft parts, and everybody's okay.
And getting up in due time, which is perfectly fine. It's the ice guy and everyone that says, "Are you okay?"
A little bit of Cabernet Sauvignon and ibuprofen, and we'll be back to fight again another day.
And most importantly, get up. So just looking at the pace of play out here, it looks like both sheets A and D, even with A hanging an end, is still running quite a bit behind. So we're looking at 7 end games likely for both those. We have about 14 minutes and 48 seconds in the clock. That is the vestige of hockey which remains here at Bucks County. We have our big old hockey scoreboard up there, so there is no doubt as to when the time expires.
Yeah, I think you're right about sheets A and D still in the 5th end with only 14 minutes and 20 seconds to go until the time runs out. And that's not game time, of course. That's until you need to finish throwing the 6th end. Sheet C is now throwing the 6th end, and they're the only ones out there doing so.
Yeah, they're curling on time out there.
The mustaches have disappeared.
Well, adhesive has its limits.
Get over there and see. We're hoping for our hometown heroes from Bucks to. Oh no, the Skip she still has her mustache on. Megan is sporting it with pride. Back to our featured game. It is Shotstone right now for Bucks County, but well exposed and taking a lot of ice right now for what I would think would be a takeout. Holy heck. Well,
wow, that's a ton of weight.
That's a ton of weight. It's a ton of handle.
Might get a little bit of an in-off here.
It's going to
and somebody needs to catch that blue stone.
Oh, wow.
Oh, dear. That went into sheet A, and it's disrupted a stone over there.
It disrupted 2 rocks.
Oh, my. That's a mistake you don't want to make. Your sweeper gave up because of the pace of the stone, but you really want to try to keep up if you can. But you know what? The sweeper should not be expected to be unsafe on her feet.
That's true, but taking a look on A, and I did see them before they struck, and they got them kind of close to where they should be. More than anything else, it's just a little dangerous.
Well, yeah, all of a sudden a stone is coming at you at 35 miles an hour and you don't expect it.
So Terry Byer throwing her 2nd vice rock. Called to draw underneath cover and sit a 2nd. I think. Could be calling the hit, but I didn't see that. Looks to be draw weight.
Got to get around that guard. Sweeping hard. Sweeping hard.
Well around at this
They
point.
got room.
It's all about the weight at this point.
Is it going to stick around?
Get a little wick.
tick. Not a bad result there.
That's not bad. You're
And they stay in the side 4 and end up pretty close to behind cover, but on swingy ice with a guard that far out, not really a thing.
Now you can definitely get there for sure. And that is a call to draw down to that one on the back of the tee line.
I think they have the line. There's a lot of handle on the stone.
2 in a row.
It may be a hair heavy, but it's on the swingy side of the sheet. And they are going to dislodge the shot. I'm not sure if I think it was shot rock, but
it was shot stone. It's still red sitting the 1.
And blue is 2, 3, 4.
So at this point, if you're Elena and Terry, it's time to take a bit of a look at it and be a little bit careful, I would think.
At this point, up 6-1, I think you can try to be sort of preservationist. We're in the 6th end. We're not sure we're going to get 8.
She's hustling, though. She's running back down the sheet.
Well, 9.5 minutes remain on the clock.
To finish this end, this game should be eligible for 8 ends.
I concur. We got 3 more stones. I think both teams want it to happen. Bucks for sportsmanship and Diamond State to continue the chance to come back.
Yep.
Bucks takes out a Diamond State stone and now sits 1-2.
And Sue Reed, the substitute from the Bucks County Curling Club, gets a stone ready for a skip. That's really important in terms of pace of play. That's something that I don't think we talk about enough with our newer curlers. That the folks that aren't delivering can get the next rock ready for the next thrower and be ready for their skip. So this way, when they come down, you're able to maintain that pace of play.
Absolutely concur, Dave. That's a key part of not only the let's call it the
good point, Jeff. You're right, they are laying the 5th end. Got distracted because we have the uneven sheet on our left, which is kind of throwing us off here. At least throwing me off a touch.
good point. Choreography is the word I couldn't come up with.
Yeah.
Boy, that was a long delay.
But you came up with it. That's all that matters.
Well, eventually. But yeah, not only the choreography of who does what when, but helping each other, the spirit of curling to try to keep the game moving. Even if you're ahead, you don't want to play slow. That's not how to win a game.
Nope, that's the worst.
That's more embarrassing for the people who win than the people who lose. This has the potential to pop out the blue, but it's curling enough that it might be all right.
I think they're all over for weight right now.
You can have a third sweeper coming out.
Is it going to outcount? Is it going to touch yellow?
You got to go.
Oh, yes, it's going to potentially bite the button. And that's a very, very nice rock.
That's good to be the shot rock.
And now the question is, does Bucks have what it takes to come with the other handle and pop that out of there?
Well, we're sitting right here pretty much I'm sitting right behind the hack, and Elena has virtually all that rock to throw to right now. We're getting
It's
some.
going to be an important shot, Dave.
Oh, it's a big shot indeed, and we're getting some more information from our sideline reporter, Mary Fannin.
We need to get her on this.
I thought it was Ferry Manning. Olena has released the stone. It's got a good pace.
Looks
It's
good.
curling nicely. It's not in danger of wrecking.
Let it go.
I like it.
Oh,
Wow,
it's
look, that
got
took a turn.
that. It's still going to get the blue out and roll.
Rolls to a beautiful place.
My goodness, now we're sitting 3 red, Dave.
Yep, 1, 2, and 3 for sure.
Count them up.
So that leaves Diamond State no choice but to draw for a single. Need to get a good part of the 4-foot.
A little bit outside the broom. The sweepers are on it for weight. And they're
It needs a curl.
kind of abandoning for line. Now they're back on, having
It's-
seen the break.
It's turning now,
It
but
may not have enough fuel, Dave.
I don't think it does. And there it is. It will be a steal of 1, 2, and 3.
That puts Bucks County in an almost unassailable position of 9-1. An 8-ender would put Diamond State back into it, so it's always possible.
Well, we saw a game almost as improbable last evening on sheet D in our last draw. We had a 6-ender scored,
That's true.
followed by a steal
It's my Cape Cod team.
by a Cape Cod team.
Yeah, not my team.
Kathy is fully a ambiguous observer,
That's right.
but go Cape Cod.
And triangle.
So what do you tell, if you're the vice of this Diamond State Potomac hybrid team, what do you tell the front end to encourage them to keep going? Let's learn something. It's always possible.
Get the drinks cold.
Let's throw them back so they don't have to drag them from the far end of the sheet.
And it also could be. I've been on this end of games before.
Oh, and let's be clear.
Oh, so have I.
everyone has.
Sometimes you just, you want to end on a good note. So maybe the goal of this is just
Score.
to score or, make all of our shots. And
No, I definitely agree with that. I mean, there are some games where you're the windshield, and there are some games where you are the bug.
yes.
And unfortunately, that's the case for Diamond State at the moment.
But how do you use it? And I think Kathy's idea of, all right, let's throw a couple of rocks and put something in the house and score one this end and walk away with our heads held high.
Oh, absolutely, because you still have more curling to do after this.
Yeah, and these are not lout games. I hope.
No, they're not. We don't have loud games quite yet.
It's Friday. I hope not.
I checked.
I should have.
I've seen squirrelier things. So, take a look around the barn. On sheet D, it continues to be Finger Lakes all day, all the time. Now 8-1. Scoring in 5 consecutive ends. On sheet C, it is back-to-back steals. Actually, Correct that. 3 straight steals from the Plainfield rink over our mustached heroes from Bucks. So it is Plainfield 7 of 4 after 6. And on sheet A, in the game that never began and apparently will never end, it is 5-3, throwing the 6th end in the wrong direction. 5-4. Sorry, 4-3, rather. So
Sorry about that, Dave. I was in the way.
It's a 1-point advantage for Philadelphia, Philly Bucks Franzen over Diamond State Philly Carousel. And they're throwing the 6th end right now. They threw the penultimate stone, but it will be a...
Well, she's coming down.
We got one more rock from the red team.
10 seconds. I don't know about this. We're currently playing that you had to have delivered the last stone of the previous end, and that moment has come and it has gone.
So that's unfortunate.
So it will be a 7 asterisk end game.
I have to admit that if I was on sheet A, I think I would have thrown a hit on the blue and scored 4 for red. But sitting 2 for red, it's hard to disagree with the call.
And that shot comes down, and on sheet A, it remains to be 2 red.
Indeed.
So we'll put them up by 1, and it will be Franzen with the hammer coming home.
Down 1.
Correct.
Back on sheet B, what are we looking at?
Well, at the moment, we're looking at another red stone in the house, well guarded.
And due to B's last, or Blue's last shot, the Reds rock is even better guarded.
Indeed. Now this game is also only eligible for 7 ends. Running a 95-minute clock where you finish and then at the end, go ahead.
I was going to say this game is also available on a gold embossed collector's item DVD for only $99.95.
I'll take 2.
You send that to Bucks County Curling Club. That's 1185 York Road, Rig 2, Warminster, Pennsylvania, 18974.
Attention, Dave Schmel. Sorry, we have to have some fun.
Or you can call our warm room hotline.
215-67 bucks.
Really, that's what it spells out to?
Yeah. Honest.
It does, sure enough.
Fought with Verizon for a while over that.
That's 215-672-8257 or Osborne $7 to go really odds old school. Osborne $7. Sorry, Osborne bucks.
Either way.
Yeah. So there you go. So for Bert Tyler and Brent Larson, our club members.
This is one hot stone coming down the sheet from Diamond State.
It's probably about 30 degrees. Came with a bit of heat.
Fair enough. I love this guy.
So Elena lining up right now. She is calling to split the house. With the first stone from her vice, Terry Byer. We know that Matt's at home watching.
Yay, Mom.
Go, Mom.
Terry Stone is away. Curling a little bit too much. Sweepers are on it. Gotta go, gotta go, gotta go. That's going to be another corner guard. Might be a biter. Tough to tell from the overhead camera. Well, what is Blue trying to do with this stone, Dave?
Well, right now they're just trying to get another one in there at all, and obviously not so good with the hog one there, Vic.
Oh, they have to take that out?
Yes.
I see. Kathy, have you ever hugged a stone?
Never.
Me neither.
Once again, our third person in the booth is our proud representative of the Grand National Curling Club, Kathy Yule. Thrilled to be here with us in the booth this evening.
I'm very excited to be with you guys.
Here comes Terry Byers, second rock. It's curling like crazy. It's going to just get over the hog line and be an extremely cornerish guard.
It is quite cornerish.
Like a cornerish game hen. Like a cornerish game hen.
And yes, folks, it's only Friday. 2 more days of this action.
No, it's all over now. I'm gonna go get a blonde wig.
Ladies and gentlemen, the President of the United States.
I don't understand why they're throwing all these stones at houses.
They should throw more guards, like a Great Wall.
Yes, they should put up a wall.
We'll get the Canadians to pay for it.
Ooh, very nice promote.
That's an outstanding shot from Diamond State Potomac.
Yeah, back to curling for a second, yes. So Elena taking a look here, and really she's sitting one, and I wouldn't mind guarding that raise, I would think.
I would try to prevent anything else from happening in this end here.
Yeah, so it looks like she's trying to draw into the pin right now. I would probably...
I'm not sure that's possible with the long blue guard. What do you think, Kathy?
I don't think so.
I'm with Kathy on this one. But we'll see what happens. If I was throwing a stone here, especially looking at the scoreboard, I'd be throwing a guard to the blue rays.
Yes. I think that's what the call is. I hope that's what the call is.
I don't think so, Tim.
Drifting the night away.
She was trying to draw through, I guess, but it's a little heavy.
Yeah,
Is that?
that was the most subtle tick I've ever seen. Except maybe for Charlie Lobb of the Philadelphia Curling Club.
I've heard of the legend of Charlie Lobb. I've never actually met Charlie Lobb.
He's a wonderful fellow, and so is his wife, Pam. Charlie had a reputation for being able to see amazing ticks and picks and other things happening and benefit from them.
Well, I hope I get the chance to play against him someday.
I hope you will. Charlie isn't currently playing, but still with us.
Yeah, my first learn to curl instructor, Zach Gary, would talk to me about playing against Charlie. And would describe many of the same experiences which you gave today. So the rock coming down right now from Diamond State. Trying to do a little tap on their own, but it just does not have the weight to get there.
I think with that blue rock frozen on the shot rock, there's nothing that Bucks can do here that's constructive. All they need to do is play defense.
Oh, I absolutely concur right now.
She's still looking at that port.
I just think we're thinking a little bit too much right now. Another nice hit on sheet D, keeping it with the blue being the shot zone for Finger Lakes. Still all Finger Lakes all the time over there. And on sheet C, it is still Bucks County trailing by 3. They have the hammer, the last stone in the final end, the 7th end. But prospects don't look quite so good for the Turner rink at the moment. And our future game, we just kind of jostled stuff around a little bit.
Still in the same situation with red sitting 1, blue frozen to it. And I kind of feel strongly that this is unlikely to change.
I concur.
But the blue rock from Diamond State is coming with pace, maybe even malice aforethought. And will it have an impact? Chipped a couple of guards into different positions, but that's about it.
So it is 1 for Bucks County, making the lead 10-1. And at this point, they are mathematically eliminated, so you would expect handshakes to be forthcoming.
And there they are.
And there they are.
Well, looking around the rest of the ice house, of course, D has shaken and gone off with an all-blue evening. And Finger Lakes, of course, prevailing there. On C, we have an extremely red sheet. So that is likely to be a Plainfield outcome, but they are throwing the 8th end.
And I don't remember them making time for the 8th end, but okay.
That's a fair point. But that's up to the Spiel organizers to figure out.
That's above my pay grade, and I run a bond spiel. You run a bond spiel. I'm quite happy right now not running a bond spiel.
Ding ding.
And on sheet A, we have our likely most competitive game. This is the 7th end being thrown to the glass, which, according to our stopwatch, will be their last end. And it is currently a 5-4 advantage for the Carosella rink. So it is the Franzen rink with the hammer. They have the last stone, and they are sitting 1 at the moment.
We could end up with skip rocks on this sheet. In this Bonspiel, skip rocks settle any ties until we get to semis.
That's correct. We were given leeway by the GNCC to settle ties in a manner that was expedient to help the schedule out. They knew that we're going to have a pretty busy Bonspiel with a compressed schedule, so we appreciate that ability. But so we elected to, not just for the finals, but for the semifinals as well, move it to a full extra end, which I think is good. I wouldn't want to lose a semifinal on a skip stone. That would feel kind of rough.
I have to concur. Now, Kathy, we've got 2 stones left here with blue sitting 1 on sheet A. This is getting kind of tight.
It is. I mean, not a lot of room to get another one in there. Just really no room.
And yeah, right now Lisa has a, for lack of a better word, constipated look on her face.
It's because those high guards are blocking any kind of draw.
And we have to give you a radio broadcast right now. So looking at the house, there are 2 offset center guards, followed by a 3rd guard in approximately the 2 position on the right side, followed by stacked guards in the 1 and 1.5 position on the left side. Then it's 2 red rocks, followed by a blue and 2 reds approaching the 4-foot, and then finally the shot stone on the edge of the 4-foot belonging to Franzen.
Very accurate description. Basically, it's clogged in the
Clogged
middle.
is the accurate.
I'd call it a cluster fornication.
That too.
I was trying to come up with some upper respiratory tract thing, but I think you're right.
I mean, unfortunately, just looking at it, I mean, I really don't
I mean, what do you do here? And this looks like we're throwing skip stones all day.
Yes, I was going to say you're going to have to just start getting ready for the draw.
Yeah, both
skip straws.
Yes, both skips should, with their last rock, be throwing a draw to be ready to throw a skip draw.
No, she is. Well, the broom was down.
Sheffer. Are you measuring skip rocks?
Yes.
You're collecting on you.
Yeah, no, I was about to head over.
Yeah, she doesn't want to. Doesn't look like she wants to throw this. Whatever they were discussing.
Oh dear. It's hard to imagine this, but all of the stones in the house are to our right of the center line. Well, not all. There's one in the top 12, but it's tough to describe.
Use your words, Ian.
Lisa Carosella and have a few. Some of them are left-handed. Lisa Carosella in the hack. Lori Neal with the broom. Telling the other team they need to be quiet, and she's right.
Here comes. Calling for the sweep.
And now off, so usually a good sign.
I'm afraid they're going to tap this red one through.
Not the outcome they're looking for. Some good acrobatics by Lori Neal to avoid the thrown stone. So now it leaves the skip rock. How the hell do you get there?
Well, you draw either one side or the other, and if they do, it's going to be 2 blue, but if they don't, it's going to be a tie game, and they throw skip rocks.
Yep, so just painting a picture, pretty much the whole access to the 4-foot is cut off by other stones in the house or guards. So Donna Truex is going to hold the broom all the way at the edge of the 12-foot on the intern side. And they're going to try to catch a piece of the back of the 4-foot.
On sheet C, we have 4 rocks left. Maybe 5. So we have a little bit left to go, but the score is still 9-4 and unlikely to change with a mostly open house. So the only real intrigue is here on sheet A.
Yep. And so here we come with the final skip rock.
From Hillary Franzen.
Yes, indeed.
This could potentially drive the red stone that's in the top 4.
You gotta see it by, don't you?
I think, well, they didn't, but they lucked out. Because that could have tapped the red
could have sucked
to be the shot rock. And
so we're going to have a skip rocks on sheet A. So Ian, why don't you tell us how skip rocks work for people who may not know?
Well, generally in skip rock situations, you have sweepers for your stone, but you are not allowed to sweep the opponent's stone through the house.
Okay.
So what I think will happen here is they will agree that it's 1 blue, and that will tie the score, and they will decide which stone they want to throw, who they want to throw it, and then we'll see what happens. Each stone will be thrown, measured, removed, and then we'll compare the measurements.
And that makes a very good point, because just because we call it skip rocks doesn't mean that it has to be thrown by the skip. It's a euphemism that we use, but ultimately the stone can be thrown by anyone. So right now we have Bonspiel committee member Ian Sheffer. He is chilling our measuring device. Here at Bucks County, we take a little bit of a simpler approach to measuring skip rocks. We just take our regular measuring device, which we would use to adjudicate any other measure, and then once the first skip rock is thrown, we take a measure on it, observe the reading, lock it down, remove the measure, remove the stone, and then compare the next stone to it.
Wait, what?
So brilliant. I love it.
It's really easy.
Yes.
I don't know why other people don't do this.
That's a great idea.
It doesn't involve a laser or a tape measure or anything.
And I go to other clubs, I see them doing all this measuring with tapes and all that stuff. We have a measuring deal.
That's fantastic.
Right?
I love it.
It's simple.
It is simple.
We do finish our Tuesday competitive leagues by skip rocks, mostly because we kind of want our skips and players to be accustomed to be able to throw skip rocks for a spiel.
I was going to say, sometimes a wide open house is scarier than any other situation you may be throwing against.
Yeah, so we try to practice it some, and we think this is the absolute easiest way in the world to measure it.
I do. I like it.
You gonna take that back to Triangle?
I am. No, they have a fancy laser.
This is still faster.
I don't even know how to use it.
This is faster. We all know how to use that thing.
Yep. We had a measure one night, and I was looking, and I was like, I don't even know how to use this thing.
Hillary Franzen is on sheet A, ready to throw her skip rock. She's cleaning the bottom of the stone, cleaning the sheet in front of the rock, standing up. It's radio, we have to describe it.
Yes.
So we have Donna Truax holding the broom, which leaves Ellen Finkelstein and Marcy Trzykowski.
Hillary Franzen's rock is away.
Hey, Dave, you have to do your...
It's halfway down the sheet. I would be sweeping. Looks like a guard. And they're happy with that. All of a sudden they're unhappy with that. And they've swept it to the top 8. No, I'm wrong. I was way off. That's a very fine skip draw. They have bitten the top of the button.
That is on the pin.
Almost covered the pin.
It is on the pin, and for this particular Bonspiel, it has been placed in a role is that while for the measurement purposes, in general, the pin is the pin is the pin. If it's woefully obvious, the decision of the Bonspiel chair is final in determining that.
Here comes Lisa Carasella's stone. Her sweepers think it's there.
It looks a skosh heavy.
And they are correct.
It's there. It's been there.
It's going to go to the pin with a little bit of help from Lori Neal, which is a comedy thing, and we're done.
So it will be a win for Hillary Franzen. So congratulations to Hillary Franzen, Donna Truax, Ellen Finkelstein, and Mary Trzykowski on their win. And with that, that brings almost the end of the action. We have a game on sheet C where it does appear that Bucks County will be vanquished by Plainfield by a substantial margin. Just waiting for the inevitable end of that.
I'm a little surprised we don't have a handshake.
And while we wait for that, we'll be back with our next draw shortly. So for myself, Dave Schmel, Ian Alexander, and Kathy Uhl, wish you a very pleasant evening, and we'll see you back in a little bit. Good evening.
Thank you for joining us, Kathy.
Very welcome. Thanks for having me.